you got to enjoy the journey. You know, one thing I've gotten better at in my mid-20s compared to my early 20s. In my early 20s, I was a stress head. I was super autistic, and I thought I was autistic. Now I was definitely way more, and to be honest, you kind of have to be, to get everything off the ground, especially if you're young and you're trying to start up a business. There's a lot of personality traits you haven't gotten yet, so you actually need to spend an excess level of attention and focus to excel and to create momentum, right? So I have empathy for myself, but one thing I've gotten better at, whilst I'm still ridiculous's impatient, and I'm like, I'm not worth $100 million yet, or a billionaire if God wills it one day, or all these other accolades. And it's not about the financial accolades for me. It's a certain amount of, I know what my minimum lifestyle that I want costs. But anyway, I start with that preface. When it comes to something I've gotten better at in my mid-20s, it's good or bad day. I'm like, I'm so grateful for this lesson. I'm so grateful for this journey. And I was doing that when I was younger, like I really was, but it would still there's an emotional sting of like a really radical failure or like lack of progress would stress me out. I remember when I was maybe 21 or early 22, and I was in an apartment with my roommate, and I was up late at night, and he's like, Dami, are you okay? And I think I was on a detox. So a detox for me meant no women, no going out to the club, no music for one of my detoxes. Imagine not listening to music for a couple months. It was great. It really tests your mind. He saw me, my eyes were red. I was just tired and shit. He's like, Dami, you okay? I was like, bro, I have to get rich. I have to get rich. Like, it sounds so cringe. Like, even me saying this right now sounds so cringe. Like, it actually makes me cringe saying that, but I want to lead with transparency. But I was 21, 22, and he's my roommate, just like, fuck, I don't know what's going on with this kid. And I was working so hard, guys. Like, I work hard now, but there was a different level of desperation that I had when I was a bit younger, and I've started to reignite that, which I'm happy about. But, it was painful, the distance between the life that I wanted and where I was. And whilst it's still extraordinarily, excruciatingly painful, I am able to be like, hey, one foot in front of the other. Okay, we just got another foot in front of the other. I'm a lot more familiar with the length of time it can take to not just grow and reach levels, but also sustain it. Because there's times when I'd reach it and I couldn't sustain it. I wasn't skilled enough. I was not emotionally stable enough. I was not psychologically skilled enough to deal with the personnel or the challenges. But now it's like, okay, like, so this person, like, I'm just a lot more, not even a little bit more. I'm just a lot more emotionally stable. And I'm able to appreciate the small bits of progression a lot better than I was when I was in my early 20s. And for those of you that are on the journey, maybe you are a millionaire already and you was expecting your business to be worth 10 million by now. You've been stuck at a couple million for a couple years. Or maybe you're someone like me who's got a business that's doing multiple 6 figures a year, but they grew up watching, a lot of the Iman Gachis and all these other rich young people when they were teenagers, and maybe they had similar success at one point, but now they've surpassed you, right? Or maybe you're someone that's just starting out from scratch and you've been at the startup phase, and maybe you've struggled to even really get the business off the ground and you've been trying for 5-10 years. I just want to say to you guys, like, that is part of your hero's journey. Like, it can't be easy, otherwise everyone would do it. In retrospect, I'm so happy it was hard, because I know how hard it was to even make my first 100K at 22, couple 100K at 23, $500,000-ish at 24, 25. I know what it took at each level. So, like, whilst I might have done it the incorrect way, which might have made it easier or harder, who knows? All I know is that we are in a generation with so much technology, so much access, so many resources, AI, like, for me, sometimes I'm like, it's actually easy. And I'm not saying it's easy. Don't take that as the takeaway from this video. It's more that the difficulty of now compared to before, it's harder and easier. What I mean by that is it's harder because everyone has access to the same resources. Generally speaking, if you're in a first world country, you have access to the internet, let's just say. So the super smart people that are entrepreneurially driven will kick your ass. Assuming that they have high risk tolerance as well, because wealthiness to a certain level is constituted on risk tolerance and not IQ. And then if you're a billionaire, it's more IQ. But if you're someone who's aggressive and high risk tolerance, you can go out there and crush it in business, generally speaking, if you're gonna stick with it. But that's the hard part. Everyone has access to these resources. But the easy part is you have access to these resources. And a lot of people are very lazy, especially post-COVID, because of the work from home culture, and a lot of people don't want to get out there and just make things happen. A lot of people are lazy, particularly in countries like Australia and other places around the world. Just reality. It's just the culture, tall poppy syndrome here. So you can go out there and make things happen. So there's a lot less regulation in that sense. So, for those of you that are on the journey, like, as long as you genuinely are doing what you need to do day in, day out, because you know what you need to do. I can't tell you what you need to do. You know what you need to do. The ability for you to win, when you really look at it as like a 10 to 20 year scale, is pretty straightforward, even a 5 to 10 year scale. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, but if you really legitimately do the process every day, really you should inevitably win. Like, the numbers are in your favor. That's been something I've gotten better at in my mid-20s. Just be like, look at the numbers. You're 25, you've been in this for nearly 6 years, you've worked with hundreds of clients, you generated 7 figures for your clients. It's pretty unreasonable that it's pretty unreasonable for you to not have an 8-figure agency, by 27, 28. That's pretty unreasonable, assuming that you just keep upskilling and keep getting better results. So that's been something I've gotten better at. And I'd suggest that you guys adopt the same way of thinking, because as long as you stay in the game and you constantly improve, well, people are going to drop out. I've seen so many people start an agency and drop out. So many people. So for me, I love that I've stuck with this business model, irrespective of how difficult it's gotten. And trust me, it's gotten difficult. And I'm even grateful that I'm at the point where I can be self-employed and hire other people. That is a major blessing. So stick with it, guys. Stick with it, but genuinely do what you need to do every day. And if you have the day off on Sunday, I'm a Christian, so that's the day where I might not kind of do like a full work day. It's like more of a content day. Then sure. But for those what you need to do every day, like, just do it. And like, track your numbers, do what you need to do. And it's inevitable that you'll win if you genuinely are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you liked it and you got something from it, or even if you didn't, please like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment. It really helps the algorithm favor this channel. And the more you support us, the more we can give you guys more extreme levels of value throughout 2025 and beyond. Looking forward to the next episode and being able to serve you guys. And as always, think mega. Take care.